Alright, BobalosRex here. This is the next video. Wildstalker Druid. I've taken a look at Elun's Chosen. I've talked about hero talents as a whole. You can watch those videos if you want my opinions on those. But let's just look at Wildstalker Druid and see what we got. So this is for Feral and Resto. Wildstalkers are druids who feel such an affinity for the remote wilds of the world that they live amongst them, mostly in cat form, hunting to perpetuate the cycle of life and death and destroy those who would despoil nature. They use their healing powers to restore life to barren bases and the creatures who live there. Yeah, Wildstalker. I think I was right with all the druids. So, we've already seen Keeper of the Grove for Resto Druid. Alright. So now we'll start having people compare which is good or not between Wildstalker and Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove was the tree druid, you know. If you want to be a super tree with your little trees, that's that kind of druid. But this is the kitty druid. The Resto kitty. If you want to be a tree kitty. Alright, so let's see how it goes. Thriving growth. Rip and rake damage has a chance to cause blood seeker vines to grow on the victim, dealing bleed damage over 6 seconds. Wild growth, regrowth, and effervescence has a chance to cause symbiotic blooms to grow on the target, healing over 6 seconds. Multiple instances of these can overlap. That's cool. That's cool. So when you're healing as a cat or you're damaging as a kitty tree, you're putting on a dot. There's essentially, I hope they have good animations. Dude, you have the vines prickling on the enemies, and then you have these like mushrooms or little sprouts on allies. At least it sounds cool. Because that's what it's supposed to... That's the fantasy of it. So hopefully they got some good animations. Alright. Hunt... And I mean, it's good gameplay-wise. You just get more hots, more bleeds. Feral druids, Resto druids are like, yeah, that's what I want. Alright. Hunt beneath the open skies. Again, these talents are simple. They're just... We get all these talents by 80. And they're just... They took the talent... They don't want us to start min-maxing around our current talent trees. So instead of giving us new talent points, they're giving us these to choose from. And then they fill out the tree with a couple of choices and stuff. So they can... I think it may be easier to balance. But we'll have to see. It may be worse. Honestly, it's probably worse. But I don't know. I think this is an interesting thing to try. You know, it is Covenants 2.0. Let's see how it goes over. These are freely swappable too. You can just swap them like you're swapping talents. Hunt beneath the open skies. Damage and healing while in cat form increased by 5%. Interesting. So, as a tree, you can put your hots out, switch to kitty, your healing goes up. That's cool. Moonfire and Sunfire damage increased by 10%. Alright. Strategic Infusion. Tiger's Fury and attacking from Prowl increase the chance for Shred, Rake, and Brutal Slash to critically strike by 8% for 6 seconds. Okay, just a simple... okay, so when you're using Tiger's Fury or from Prowl, you get this. Okay. Casting Regrowth increases the chance for your periodic heals to critically heal by 10% for 6 seconds. Alright, it's something. I don't play either a lot. So, to me, this just sounds like added, and I mean it is, it's just passive added effect, so that's good. Can't really say no to that. It's not like interesting, you know, but it's a thing. So I'm not going to say it's bad. Rip damage increased by 6%. Ferocious Bite damage increased by 4%. Rejuvenation healing increased by 3%. Effervescence and Light Boom healing increased by 6%. Alright. Another one of what I just said. Thanks for the buff. I leveled up and got buffs to all these. Thank you. Wildstalker's Prescience. Presence. Wild Growth and Rake last 20% longer. Nice. Here we go. We got a choice. Entangling Vortex. Enemies pulled into Ursol's Vortex are now rooted in place for 6 seconds. Damage may cancel the effect. That's going to be great in PvP. And maybe M+. And then Flower Walk. During Barkskin, your movement speed is increased by 10%. And every second flowers grow beneath your feet that heal up to 3 nearby. Yo! That's gonna be good in PvP. Dude, it's also, it gives you movement speed too. That's wild. This is a extremely good defensive now. In PvP and maybe in PvE. You know, you hit it to help heal. Oh, this is feral. Yeah, you heal melee, healer heals their allies. They're in cat, they get the bonus. That could be nice. You know, if you're more of a little bit of a caster, you want to root the mobs, that's good, but this one looks like a really good defensive and maybe a little side heal. Alright, we got another choice note here. Healing you received is increased by 10%. Alright. Your regrowth healing to yourself is increased by 50%. Are you mainly healing yourself? Are you in a raid? There you go. Not a big choice, but it's something. Maybe they can look at that. Alright. Resilient Flourishing. Bloodseeker's vines and symbiotic blooms last 2 additional seconds. Okay, that's good, because it's the stacking thing we want. When a target afflicted by Bloodseeker vines dies, the vines jump to a nearby unaffected target for the remaining duration. That's kind of good. Or Root Network. Each active Bloodseeker vine increases the damage your abilities deal by 2%. Each active symbiotic bloom increases the healing of your life boom and wild growth by 2%. Ooh. So this isn't for the stack value. So if you're able to stack it in AoE or AoE healing, AoE mobs or AoE healing, you'll do more. Or if you're more of a single target and you're just about keeping the buff up, you got this. But both are mainly for AoE, so I'm not really... I mean, no, see, for single target, this would just increase your damage by 2%. Meanwhile, this would just make it stack. Like, this is for stacking. If you're having trouble with it falling off during a fight, you use this. Otherwise, you just use this for 2% on single target. Alright, Bursting Growth. When Bloodseeker Thorns expire, they explode in thorns, dealing physical damage to nearby enemies. Damage reduced above 5 targets. When Symbiotic Blooms expire, flowers grow around their target, healing them and up to 3 nearby targets. Whereas for healers, in a raid, this is great. And in a raid in PvE, this is great. This, again, if you're having trouble with it falling off, I feel like Root Network is just better. I think about it. And then this has an expiry. See, you'd want it to expire. Then stay on. Alright. So your stuff blows up when it falls off. It's all about these vines and the blooms, it looks like. And then we got a choice node, Twin Sprouts. When Bloodseeker vines or Symbiotic Bloom grow, they have a 10% chance to cause another growth of the same type to immediately grow on a valid nearby target. See, it's spreading on its own. You don't even gotta worry. You don't even gotta worry with this choice for that. It will spread on its own. Or Implant. Feral Frenzy immediately causes a Bloodseeker vine to grow on the target. Casting Regrowth is made instant via Nature's Swiftness. A casting regrowth that is made instant via Nature's Swiftness causes a symbiotic blow to grow on the target. So that works for you in that and the other thing. Yeah, I think this is just better. This may be better on single target. This would be better on single target. This would just go better with that, which would be good in most things. Then the final thing, Vigorous Creepers. Bloodseeker vines increase the damage your abilities deal to the affected enemy by 10%. Symbiotic blooms increase the healing your spells do to the affected target by 8%. Yep, no new buttons, no bloat. They don't add any new buttons, there's no bloat. I hope this creeper effect has cool animations and the bloom effect. I want to be able to... Oh, that would look cool. So, say I'm blooming on someone, like you see it grow, like one stack is just like a little bit, 2 stacks it's like more growth, and then 3 you got like the bud or the flowers blooming on them or something, and it's like glowing green. And then for the Bloodseeker vines, I want to see like vines creeping up on the target, then more, and then you see it like fully encased in vines when you got the full stack. That'll be good. Oh, there's no cap. So they just kind of keep going. Oh, that will be good. Oh. Oh, and I guess they fall off over to... Okay. Okay, now it makes more sense. I still think with Bursting Growth, you'd want to just play this. Yeah, if you're in AoE, maybe this if you're in single target, because it will cause more. So this in AoE, this in single target, unless they do something. I don't know about that. Alright, but this looks cool. The vibes. So, again, it's Tree that is always turning into Kitty to help damage. Whereas if you want a tree that's hanging out with the trees with a little bit more utility, you're going to be picking Keeper of the Grove. But there's a lot of healing increases here too, if it's... This is the more hot style. This is the tree style. So that's good. This is more hots. This is literally more hots. For Feral, it's more bleeds. We'll see what Druid of the Claw looks like between those two. But the Druid ones seem alright to me. Nothing really is like crazy cool. I am interested to see how it looks though. Like a few of the trees I thought actually like seemed cool, like the Frostfire Mage. But I think this is good. You know, as a start, and we'll see through testing. I hope they can make some of these more interesting, but if people are worried about bloat, then all passives is going to be what it is. And maybe spell effects. Anyways, that's Wildstalker, Druid, Feral, and Resto. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.